So how would we go about integrating high intensity training into a high volume endurance training program? So if you're someone who is running, riding, swimming, following a multi-sport program, you've already got kind of allocated sessions within the week where you're hitting one or multiple of those sports. You're already getting a lot of volume and intensity. If you're someone who was then looking to get into a CrossFit session, train for Hyrox, you're looking to train in a high intensity exercise class, the most important thing you could be thinking about is training load, management of your own personal training load, quantifying what all that work looks like on a week-to-week basis. That's the biggest point of concern for us at SFE when we're dealing with people who are training towards a marathon, training towards a Hyrox, training towards dropping into a CrossFit class or doing some Les Mills or like exercise-based training classes. What we're trying to think about is the overall picture. When you're looking at how to quantify how much work that's being put through the body, this is one of the most important things. Exercise execution is a hugely important one. Your ability to walk into these training environments and put the blinkers on. What do you need to be working on? Thinking about your technique, thinking about the loads and intensities that you're working at. Being able to be confident enough and mature enough to say, no, this is the weight I need to be working at. I'm going to slow things down. I'm going to work to X reps and not worry about what everybody else is doing. It takes a great deal of strength, mental kind of and courage to be able to do that. And this is why it's worth talking about, because it's not the easiest thing to do. You know, if you've got friends that you want to be jumping into sessions with, you've got it's an amazing community to be part of when you jump into these classes and things, because I've done it numerous times over the years, and I've got a Hyrox kind of simulation event coming up soon in the next couple of weeks, doing 400-meter runs, not 1 kilometer runs. So it kind of makes it a little bit more doable, shall I say, with less training, but still, finding your lane, making sure that when you're going into these exercises, whether it's wall balls or burpees or box jumps or dumbbell, working with dumbbells, kettlebells, barbells, or whatever you're doing in that environment, what do you need to be working on? It's the most important thing. And then as you're going into those sessions, like what have you done in the lead up to that training session? What do you expect your body to do after that session? You need to have that bandwidth. You need to be thinking about this, because likely the instructors, the coaches in that environment, they're taking you on face value. They're not going to know the kind of nuances of your training week. And so they're going to be kind of putting the work into you in that said 45, 60 minutes. And then off you go. But you've got to be taking that responsibility to go, do you know what? I've got to run later. I've got to ride tomorrow morning. I've got to swim, whatever it is. That's the mindset you need to be having when you're kind of integrating this type of training. Quality needs to be there. That has to be right there. You have to be thinking about that kind of the nutrition around these, the recovery around these. These are those key considerations that we just want to keep repeating as your coaches, and because we just want to prevent that overtraining, that consistent overreaching, which just invites injury, niggles, setbacks, or just burnout. And that is something we just have no interest in. So blinkers on, guys, when you're doing this type of work. Make sure that you're working at the intensities, the volumes that are appropriate to you, your lifestyle, everything else you've got going on, and have at it. It's some of the best training you can do is in these environments. It's just knowing what you need to be working on, training at your intensities and volumes that are sustainable. That test you, give you that buzz, but you're in control for most of it. Let me know your thoughts.